Hello, everyone, and welcome to Off the Shelf, a show where we take things off the shelf and we talk about them because everything has a story. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Rick. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We would really appreciate it. Joining me on the shelf, as always, you may have seen him wandering around the aisles of Target. Joe Dove, how are you, Joe?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Good, mate. Good. I'm very excited about this one.
Yeah, me too. I've been waiting for a while for somebody to have this much of a collection.
And joining us for the first time on the show, and we are very excited. Welcome, Adam, Michael Adamn Goodwill. How are you?
Hi, guys. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
We are super excited. When Joe told me that you were going to be on the show, now I have to admit, I'm not a Star Trek fan. This might give you away, but don't crucify me over the comments, guys. But I'm very excited to know about the collection. So, Joe, I guess we'll get straight into it, mate.
All right. So part of this intro is you have to do a little dance. No. There it is. Anyway.
There it is. So I guess we gave it a bit of a clue. It's a bit of a Star Trek, obviously, theme here. Michael, what is your collection, mate?
My collection is 99.99% Star Trek with a little splash of other sci-fi shows here and there.
Right. Okay. Anything specifically about Star Trek, or are we talking, figures, or are we talking ships? What are we talking about?
Ooh, this is Star Trek starships, because I'm a bit of a ship fanatic, so I absolutely adore all those ships. So yeah, it's primarily starships of any kind.
Wow. Okay. All right, Joe. We got anything we could show? Maybe a video or something. What have we got?
We've got. All right. So Michael, take us through.
Oh, this is from the Star Trek Discovery collection that Eaglemoss did. So this one here is possibly one of the biggest ships that Eaglemoss did. So Eaglemoss, if no one knows, they are now a defunct company, sadly, but they built a huge starship collection available around the world. And their goal was, we will literally build anything that's been on screen.
Wow.
From Star Trek. So this is the USS Buran from Star Trek Discovery. This was Gabriel Lorca's ship. So this is a huge starship here. We then got the USS Shenzhou from Star Trek Discovery, which was Michelle Yeoh's ship,
nice
Captain Giorgio.
Yeah.
We've then got to the right there, little USS Shran, which is probably the smallest one of the line. When I got this in the box, I was like, really? I've just spent like £50 on this. I was like, okay, I'll let it go. We've then got a little tug here. So the one on the right there, that's the USS Zimmerman. That was in season 2, very briefly in the background, which just shows how committed they were to like literally building every ship, even if it was blurry and in the background. They were like, we're going to build that.
Nice.
And we're going to make it highly detailed. So then we've got the Europa from the pilot of Discovery that gets absolutely wrecked.
Yeah.
Going
on said, screw that shit. Bah, 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 bah.
Yeah, they were like, do you want to see our surprise? Yeah, we're just going to insert our ship into your ship. Bye-bye. Yeah, so that was a rather epic for that one. We've got the USS Clark, which again was from the first episode, Battle of the Binary Stars. USS Edison in the background, and then I think everyone knows what's at the end there.
Good old original.
Oh yes.
No, this is the Strange New Worlds season 2 Discovery USS Enterprise, the XL version, which awesome. I absolutely adore.
Now I see you have like a gold like little
plaque.
Yeah, plaque. What was that? Is it?
That is that is a old pin badge that my mother bought me from a comic book store where I live here. It just has like USS Enterprise, and I found it in a drawer when I moved, and I was like, I'm gonna have to put it on my shelf because it just has little stuff like that. Always brings back nice memories. But yeah, so that's the battle. I like to call it the Battle of the Binary Stars shelf because it's most of the ships that were just dotted around everywhere that like you saw a millisecond of, but the Eaglemoss were like, we're going to build that and make it super detailed.
I mean, speaking of detail, I'm just quickly looking over that. They look very detailed for I'm assuming they're quite small.
They
I don't know.
are. These are what we call the mid-size range that Eaglemoss did.
Yeah.
So these were about 5 to 8 inches long. The Enterprise at the end, that's about 8.5 inches. Oh, and this is the
Wow.
Klingon shelf. So
Oh my
these
God.
are ships. These are all in chronological. So everything on my shelves is in chronological order.
Oh,
So these ships here, from Star Trek Enterprise all the way up to Star Trek Discovery. So if you look at the one on the left there, the bottom left, that is the Klingon sarcophagus from Star Trek Discovery.
Wow.
It's in canon one of the oldest Klingon ships, so it's right at the start of the collection. That is a huge, huge model and extremely highly detailed, because in Discovery they went for some sort of like Gothic type of design for Klingon ships. So it's a stunning model. But going forward there, you can see the bird of prey from Enterprise, a few cruisers, the Klingon the Klingon ship that rammed the Europa, and then this is what I call this one, the Moth ship, the little Klingon fighter at the end there.
Yeah.
How this got delivered to me in one piece, I will never know.
hang on, was that delivered in one piece, like as is?
It was delivered in one piece as is, and I
Wow.
that was not broken during transit. So
Oh my God.
Oh, that's incredible. I thought for sure they would you'd have to put it together, you know?
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah.
Wow.
How does that not get broken? But anyway, that's
right.
Wow, okay.
Is that metal?
So the base of the ship is metal. The what I would call the prongs that stick out, they're all plastic.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So each ship that you have, do you need to assemble them, or are they the way they are, or
these come pre-assembled? So these are die cast and plastic. So they come pre-assembled in the box. The joy is opening the box because they come in styrofoam packaging, so you don't know if it's intact or absolutely destroyed until you carefully take away styrofoam. So yeah, so I've been very lucky. I've only had one damaged ship, which when Eaglemoss was still around, I just messaged him and I said, "Hey, this is coming like this," and they're like, "Yeah, no bother, we'll send you one for free."
Yeah, that's what they did for me too.
And they were really good with that, which is probably why they went bust, because they just kept giving out free starships and space stations left, right, and center. But these, most of these are die cast and they come pre-assembled. All you have to do is just put the plastic stand on. You want to talk about these ones then?
Oh yeah, this is the ones I was excited. I saw this, and I was a guest star on your show. We both do a Star Trek video cast, and I was like, "You have an amazing collection. We should get you on the show." And then I said, "You should probably put your ships in behind you when you talk about it, because before you were just kind of like you could see your door." I was like, "Well, he's home. I'm very happy for him." But this looks incredible. And then you put when I was on, you actually had this in the background. I was just like, "Oh, I wish I had that."
So these, sorry, Rick.
No, what is it? I'm curious.
Yeah. So this is from the what was used to be called Art Asylum, and they changed the name to Diamond Select. These are very reminiscent of the Playmates toys in the 90s that were made. So there's the Light and Sound toys that they made. This is Diamond Select's take on it, but modernized and just a little bit more highly detailed. So this one here is the Enterprise B from Star Trek Generations. This one is, I would say 13 years old now.
Wow.
It's highly detailed Excelsior class from Star Trek Generations. It comes with all the sound effects from the movie. So you do get John Harriman, who was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I forget the actor's name. But you get all the sound effects. You get movie quotes. So you get William Shatner. You get space effects, explosions. All the lights are high-powered LEDs as well. So when it lights up, it really lights up. So you can see there the engines are lit up, the impulse, the deflectors. The problem with these ships, and you'll see later on in other ones, is
the exhaust is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They are super, super, super bright. The problem with these ships, which is super annoying, the stands are rubbish. They are absolutely. If you move them around too much, like most plastic things, they will just wear and wear and wear. So the rigidity just goes away, and very hard to get replacements. So I'm very careful with them. But it's a beautiful ship. I do have the Excelsior later on, but the lights are so bright on them that it really does it justice. Going down, this is the Eaglemoss one. So when I mean every ship in the series that was on screen, they literally meant it. So this was a Vulcan transport from, I believe, the Next Generation.
Wow.
They did a very obscure one. You'll see going on, like, there'll be ships, Joe, that you'll be like, I've never seen that before. And it's like, yep.
That's Reliant.
Wow.
That is the Bowsman from Cause and Effect. That's Kelsey Grammer's ship.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Holy shit.
So
We literally did every ship.
Yeah, that's the Soyuz class. I love the fact that it's like, Niles, you can't drink Klingon blood wine with Taj. Niles. This is Kelsey Grammer's out there somewhere in the Star Trek universe. I'm convinced.
He's watching now. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is the Saratoga. So this was Ben Sisko's ship before it was blown up in DS9.
Oh wow! Jeez.
Note the two weapons on each side, the two sensor arrays.
Mm-hmm.
Those are from an X-wing starfighter that they kit bashed onto the model.
No way.
So Star Wars is canon, guys. Star Wars is canon. So the next one along, that is the Centaur, which was on for about 15 seconds in a DS9 episode when they were chasing the Defiant.
Wow.
When the Defiant was on the run. So they redid the Centaur. That's the USS Raven from Voyager. That's 7 of 9's parent ship.
Oh, wow.
This one, I love this one. This was the very last model I bought before Eaglemoss went under. This is the USS Pegasus from the season from one of the season 7 episodes of TNG. This is Riker's ship before he joined the Enterprise. This is the one that cloaked Joe.
Yeah, they got stuck in the cave, right?
Stuck in an asteroid. Yeah. So
yeah.
They did an XL version of that, and they said, "Well, we can do an XL Grissom, or we can do something obscure." And Eaglemoss were like, "Let's do something obscure." So the Pegasus got an XL.
Look at that, gorgeous too.
Going back, we've got the Federation training craft on the right one that Wesley Crusher tried to do the Cobalt Starburst in. And one of their training died, so we got one of them. The Enterprise C from yesterday's Enterprise. Yeah, absolutely beautiful little ship.
It's pretty well sized too.
Yeah, so they did this one and they did an XL version, but annoyingly, Diamond Select were going to do a light and sound version, and they'd got to the prototype stage. But a lot of people think that they've lost the license because they've gone very quiet, and it's kind of annoying because in order to complete the large collection, everyone just needed the Enterprise C to have a full house. We'll never get it. And it was really sad because it looked, when they did it at Toy Fair and at San Diego Comic-Con, it looked beautiful. Like it looked like the same size as the Enterprise B in high-powered lights. But next to that is the Probert concept Enterprise C. So this was So if you look at this one,
B type of
a really fun fact about this one: this was originally one of the design sketches for the Enterprise D in 1986.
Oh wow!
So this is how the D was going to look, and then they scrapped it, but they used that design for season 1 to 3 in the Next Generation in the observation lounge for the Enterprise C.
Oh wow!
So that's a concept ship. The ship next to it, again, this was in, I think it was Tears of the Prophets. Like blink and you'll miss it. USS Antares, which is another Miranda class, but it's got an AWACS pod on it.
Now, is this one of the ones that got blown up by one of the disruptors? Yeah.
But it's literally like 3 pixels in size when you look at it. So that's the start of what I call the Next Generation bookcase.
The bigger ship.
Yeah,
I mean, in all of them, I'm just looking how detailed they are. I'm assuming they are screen accurate.
They are screen accurate. Yeah, there's a bit of a typo on this one. So this Enterprise B is a first run edition from Diamond Select, and can you see the red piping on the secondary bit?
Yeah.
It actually says Starship USS Excelsior instead of Enterprise B.
Oh,
The factory realized, but they couldn't be bothered changing it, so they just sent them out. So Diamond Select were like, well, for free, we can give you some decals. And I'm like, well, I'm really rubbish at putting decals on. So I was like, I'll just leave it.
Because now it's worth more, probably,
Yeah. So I was like, I just leave it. But that one, what they did, they weathered it. So really up close photos, you can actually see in sort of like the grooves and stuff, they've got weathering in it. So it's like, it's an aged version of the Enterprise B that's been through the ringer a bit. So it's a bit weathered and a bit beaten up here and there, which it's a bit of, I call it patina. You know, when you see old cars where they've got rust and they've got patina. That's what I call that.
Nice. What else we got, Joe?
Oh, we got a ton.
So you know how I mentioned that my shelves are in chronological order?
Yeah.
So this is the very first Starship. So if you see there on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, sorry. So if you go back to the space shuttle bit there on the left-hand side. So chronological order, you've got the Botany Bay, which in Star Trek was from 1996. That's the one that Khan was essentially, right, you lot just go. And poof, off. We've then got the space shuttle from the opening credits of Enterprise, which, by the way, if you don't like the song, I don't care. I'll die on that hill.
It's been a long time getting from there to here.
The fifth of the heart intensifies. So we've got the space shuttle there, which very, very cleverly Terry Metalis in season 2 of Picard wanted in the show, so it was canonized. So they were like, oh, yes, this was the next iteration of what a space shuttle would be. So it's like a space shuttle that takes off and lands. It doesn't need any retro rockets or anything to blast it off into space.
Nice.
We've got obviously the Phoenix from First Contact, which if you can see is held down by blue tack because whoever decided to build that realized that the ship actually wobbles on its stand. So the nacelles actually point that way, the ship points that way, so it just looks very, as the British call, very, very cockeyed. So in the back there, we've got the Conestoga, which was literally only seen as a screenshot on a monitor on Star Trek Enterprise.
And Eaglemoss went and made it.
Eaglemoss went and made it, but didn't just make it, but made it super detailed. So you need a magnifying glass to see some of the ship registries and the actual name, the Conestoga on it. That's how detailed that one is.
Wow.
Same for the one on the right-hand side. That's the Horizon, which was a freighter from Enterprise. And again, you need a magnifying glass to see the name Horizon on it. It's insane.
That is insane.
Friendship 1 there from the Voyager episode, Friendship 1.
Oh, wow.
That causes the nuclear pop. Now, this one, this goes back to the 1979 motion picture film. So this was only seen on screen as a picture in the background of the entertainment area of the Enterprise. This was supposed to be, it's supposed to be the sailing ship Enterprise, the aircraft carrier Enterprise, space shuttle, and then this ship, which was supposed to be a Starliner. And then they changed the canon, and then in Enterprise they made this into an experimental ring ship. So it was literally only seen in 2 photographs, and then briefly as a model in Into Darkness. And then Eaglemoss went, "We'll make that." This sold like hotcakes.
I'm sure
it was so. The pre-orders was so
wow.
It was so hard to get, but it is huge. I would say it's about 9 inches long and about 5 inches high.
That's right, ladies.
Joe. I knew Joe was going to say something.
Oh my!
Oh my!
So this one, sorry, Rick.
So, how many of these did they make? So this was on screen. You said or as a picture, it was literally on screen for
a second,
a short period of time, a second.
Yeah.
How many did Eaglemoss actually make of these? Were they any like limited number runs, or did they just kind of go,
For these were the special editions. So they had the standard collection, and then they used to do a range of special issues, and this was part of the special issue run. So normally what they would do, they would put them up for pre-order, gauge how many people pre-order it, and then go, oh, we actually need to make more than what we've done because
Wow.
Trekkies being Trekkies, we love the little tiny details. So when someone says, oh, you know, that ship that you saw briefly for 3 milliseconds 40 years ago, we're going to make a fully fledged model. Orders just came in thick and fast.
Wow.
For these. So
Oh,
thousands
Thick and
are out there. But
But
once
how
they
many
make
are
them,
intact? Yeah, that's right.
ooh, that's the thing.
question.
If you look at the ring, so the ring is plastic. The actual hull of the ship is die-cast metal, and
Oh shit!
if I move that too much, that will detach. So I am so gentle with it
Wow.
because I don't want to break it because I'll never get another one. And if I do, they're about £200, I believe, on eBay. So off.
Oh shit! So that means it cost me like $400.
Oh yeah. So
Oh.
one of the models that we'll see later on, I will tell you the exact cost, and Joe, you'll probably have a heart attack.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Keep going, Joe. Keep going. Let's go. Keep going.
So
Joe.
then we've got the Warp Delta there, which was only seen for a few shots in Enterprise, the NX Alpha. That's the one right at the end, the big one. That's the USS Franklin from Star Trek Beyond.
Oh wow.
So because what I've done, anything from Star Trek Beyond, which happened prior to Nero coming into whatever the timeline was, I've considered canon. So I'm like, yep, that one's on the shelf. So the Franklin was in Star Trek Beyond, which is what Kirk used to defeat Altair, I believe his name was.
Yeah.
The ones on the bottom shelf there, you got the Arctic Shuttle from the Borg episode of Star Trek Enterprise before it was assimilated. You've got the Sarajevo, which was literally only seen for about 2 seconds in a wrap-up scene. The Intrepid, which Eaglemoss did a screen accurate, so it's got no names or anything on it whatsoever. It's just got highly detailed windows and stuff.
Oh my god.
I'll go left in a minute. So that's the Arctic shuttle there.
Wow.
And then the Sarajevo. Sarajevo has a registry number, NC10, but it doesn't have a name. That one there to the left of the Intrepid, that's the Emmett Till. So that's, you know, in the intro where you see the shuttle go to the moon.
That's right. The Emmett Till is behind me on the new version.
It's not the Emmett. Yeah, that's the SS Emmett. Sorry, my mistake. So that's the Emmett.
I have the Emmett Till, but it's not.
The Emmett Till concept.
Yeah.
That's the moon shuttle you see flying over in the intro, in the opening credits of Fear for the Heart. So again, Fear for the Heart, love it or hate it. And then we've got the ECS Fortunate right at the bottom there, in the bottom left hand, which was from Fortunate's son.
Oh wow!
So that's another cargo transporter there. So that's the first of the chronological shelves that I've got.
Wow.
Do any of them have like little pilots or anyone in there? Like, do you see?
No,
no, they didn't go that far. Okay.
They decided there was a bit of a thing from Ben Robertson, who used to head up all the stuff at Eaglemoss. They were like, should we have pilots in or pilots out in some of the ships? And they said, no, it's all about the actual ships. We don't really want to put people in, which, you know, I can sort of respect on that. This is is an Art Asylum Romulan Bird of Prey,
and that's from the original series, right?
That's the original series Bird of Prey. So this one,
that's the big one up flying above all the other ones,
right there behind me on camera. Again, light and sound effects.
So that's okay. Yeah, so that's select.
So it has everything from the classic TOS episode where Kirk and the Romulan commander are having that standoff.
Oh yes.
So you do get a lot of excellent.
Here, what's the episode called?
I can't for the life of me. I
know they remade it. They kind of remade it in Strange New Worlds.
They did in Strange New Worlds, yeah.
So it has does it play that theme? Balance of Terror.
Balance of Terror, yes. So this one, as you can see, all the windows light up, the thrusters and the warp engines light up, and then can you see the torpedo tube? If you play one of the sound effects, the torpedo tube actually pretends to fire a torpedo, so it glows red.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
It's beautiful, that one. Again, another fragile stand, which is so annoying.
Yeah.
But this is the Romulan shelf.
Yeah.
So at the bottom,
Romulan Bird of Prey, the TNG era one.
Oh, it's
those
beautiful.
Ships are so gorgeous.
Yeah. The Romulan, as they nicknamed it, the Flea, which is on the top left-hand side there, the Romulan Flea from Enterprise. There, can you see the detail there?
Yeah.
So cool.
We then got the 2150s Romulan warbird there, and then we've got another TOS bird of prey there. The Romulan shuttle from Next Generation. And then the one next to it is the DS9 Romulan shuttle that Doug Drexler designed from scratch. I think it was one of the first ships he ever designed from scratch.
Oh, wow.
And that is so highly detailed, because the thing I love about Doug Drexler is he kept literally everything that he designed, and it's so highly detailed. So if it's because he designed Battlestar Galactica, the reimagined Galactica ship, and he did a documentary where he could literally zoom right in and you could see the serial numbers on the hatches of the CGI model that they used for the show.
Oh, wow.
He is insanely, passionate. Yeah. So when they brought him on for Picard season 2 and 3, you knew it was going to go right. So there's the Valdor from Nemesis, and then we go to the shuttle, the Vulcan. I think I've only got 3 Vulcan ships. So we've got the 2 from Enterprise, which are the ring ships, and then this is the Vulcan shuttle from Star Trek Discovery, where Spock is on the run.
Right. I remember
and
that.
Then we've got the Andorian warship that Shran commands in Star Trek Enterprise. Again, highly detailed, that one.
There's more?
Oh, yeah. The sky.
There's more?
Loads.
Oh, wait. There's more.
Okay, so
oh my God.
Extremely detailed.
These are from the very short-lived Star Trek Online collection that Eaglemoss did. So they did a survey back in 2018 and said to Trekkies, hey, Star Trek Online's a thing. Would you like it if we made starships from it? And everyone who was a Trekkie and liked ships went, yeah. So they exhibited some of these at the Star Trek convention in Birmingham in 2019. And when we went, everyone literally said, my God, for something that is literally this big, I would say about 3 inches long, you will never find something as more highly detailed as these little ships here. So these, like I said, are from the Star Trek Online game. They are all the ships that you can command in the game. So you've got the one on the far left is the Buran cruiser. Now, what they did in the game, they made some law that there was a yard that Starfleet had discovered that had all these ships from Star Trek Discovery, but were never completed. And they discovered this yard again, and they said, "Oh, all these space frames are make cool, awesome new ships." So then they retrofitted the ships from Star Trek Discovery into ships from Star Trek Online. So these are all Star Trek Discovery ships modernized for the next gen era.
Wow.
That you can all command on Star Trek Online. So you've got a Buran, you've got an Edison, and then this one here, which is really nice. This was an original design from Star Trek Online called the Chimera class. This is the first ship that Nog captained when he became captain in Star Trek Online lore. Yeah. So they
that's a special ship.
It's very special. This one was one of the first ones that came out because Aaron Eisenberg had sadly passed away when the line was launched. And he was due to attend Star Trek Birmingham. And they kept his seat, and they had a little memorial at the convention for him. And Ben Robertson, who was there with Eaglemoss, said the first ship that we will launch in this range is the Chimera class in honor of Aaron Eisenberg.
Wow.
Because it was such a pivotal ship in the game because he was the first Ferengi captain.
Yeah.
So this is really fun. This one here is the Krella Gagarin class. So this is in Star Trek Discovery. There's a few ships, and one of them's called the Krella, where it's on the run from the Klingons, which you'll probably see later on. They made this for Star Trek Online, and then when season 2 was being made of Star Trek Picard, Dave Blass needed starships because there was a huge thing of pushback from fans basically saying, hey, Star Trek Picard, you Control-C, Control-V an entire fleet in the last episode of season 1.
First season,
we didn't like that. Yeah. So Dave Blass went, how can I get a load of ships in such short notice? Oh, hey, Star Trek Online, they do some really good stuff. So they hired Star Trek Online to up-res all of the players, like some of the best player ships that they had, so they could feature in Star Trek Picard, and this was one of them.
Nice.
So this is actually canon now in Star Trek, the Gagarin type.
Yeah, so that one was the one right before they went into the past. They like the ships came out like, "Hey, stop what you're doing," and then disabled them and got away. Wow.
Yeah. So the next one is the Europa. Again, this is based on the original Europa from Discovery. They got absolutely sliced in half like butter,
obliterated.
And then this one is very special. This is the
I've never
Enterprise
seen this one. I've never seen this one. This is the first time I'm actually seeing this. And that's one of the ships that you saw on Enterprise that I always thought, well, those nacelles are dinky. And then I found out how massive this ship is supposed to be. I was like, oh, wait.
I think it's 2 miles long and a mile wide.
Yeah.
This was literally seen on a little display screen in one of the season 3 episodes. Doug Drexler had made like a fully fledged model to use as filming, but they didn't have the time or the budget to realize it. So it was Doug that sort of championed like the Enterprise J and released all these high-res images after Enterprise was cancelled. And Eaglemoss again, they were like, it was on screen, we're going to build it. This one, really funny story. I moved house 3 years ago. I literally sat in the car as my friend drove, and I held it so delicately because I was like, if this breaks, I will never be able to replace it. So I'm just like sat in the passenger seat, just like, please don't break, please don't break. Don't go over a speed hump.
It's funny because I've always looked for the ship online and never seen it online.
So
I've never seen anything remotely except for photos and like, wallpapers.
So they did 2 versions of this. So this is the original regular size, and they've made an extra large version, which if master replicas have been able to secure the stock, buy, no matter what the cost, buy, because it will triple in value within a day.
Oh, geez.
So
it's so rare.
It's being rare. Obviously, there's going to be a price point on this. Do you know how much it's worth now if you were to sell it?
Yes, but I'm never going to sell it.
Yeah, you never sell it. Of course. No.
The small versions.
The small versions. I can't hound his eBay.
I've looked at this, and this one is between in American dollars between $75 and $100 just for a tiny 3-inch.
Yeah, they're small.
Ship.
Yeah. Very big,
this is so small, Rick, that the actual name of the ship, again, you would need a magnifying glass because it is less than 1 millimeter long, where it says USS Enterprise NCC 1701J. It is insane. Like this 2 mile wide ship in canon, it's like itty bitty little 3-inch.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome.
So this is the USS Eon from Voyager. From the 2-parter episode where they go back to 1996.
Yes, okay, I remember that one. Yeah.
So this is a 29th century shuttle, and then next to it is the Relativity G, which is from another Voyager episode where 7 of 9 has to go back in the past to stop Voyager from being blown up with Utopia Planitia. So I was really sad about that one because I hoped, because in the show it's iridescent, and I was hoping beyond all hope that Eaglemoss would do some iridescent paint, but I thought, they won't be able to afford that because iridescent paint's quite expensive. And sadly, they didn't.
Yeah.
But no, that's I would say out of all the shelves, that's like the latest up-to-date shelf. Shelf 2 of the Klingons. So the top 2 are from Star Trek Discovery. The one on the left I call the Moth. The one on the right I call Red Dwarf because it just looks like Red Dwarf. It's got the same shape as Red Dwarf. And then we've got a prototype D7 and then the original series D7. The Vorcha class from the Next Generation. The Nekvar right at the end there, which is from DS9, I believe. It started out in DS9.
Yes.
And then the final reveal, which is another Diamond Select one, will be...
I can't wait to see this one. Oh, General...
The big ship is General Chang's Bird of Prey from the Undiscovered Country.
God. Look at that thing.
Havoc! And let's slip.
So this Diamond Select. Yeah. This is right above me. This is probably the things that are blinding people.
Yeah.
They did a few versions of this at Diamond Select. So they did General Chang's from the Undiscovered Country. So when you play the sound effects, it's Christopher Plummer. So it's Christopher Plummer saying, "Cry havoc and let's lift the dogs of war," and it's just beautiful. And they did a one that lands. So it's the one that lands has got a landing gear.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can actually, you've
Like,
got
put
no
it
display
down.
stand. Yeah, no display stand, just landing gear. And then they did the HMS Bounty from the Voyage Home, or the one with the whales.
The one with the whales.
The one with the whales. But all the wings are adjustable, so you can have it in land mode, cruise mode, which is this, or attack mode.
Wow, that moves around too. The wings.
Yeah, it moves around. Do you want me to get it? Do you want me to get it up?
Well, be careful. If you
I'd
want.
rather you not break it.
Only if you want. Don't.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, all
right. Let's switch. Let's switch.
So this is
wow,
it here.
yeah.
And then you can have it in attack mode.
Oh, that's so cool.
Flight mode, and then it doesn't want to go, but then it goes into land mode. Yeah, doesn't want to go.
Awesome.
So again, all the windows light up, and the lights are super bright in this. This is when Diamond Select were like, let's start giving people cataracts with our lights.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is one of my favorite ones on the Klingon shelf, because it's a bird of prey. Who doesn't not like a bird of prey?
Exactly.
And there's been so many of them.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. All right, here we go. We're going for our next run. It's been a long road.
So this
here.
The Enterprise era shelf. So this, which is now canon in Star Trek, is the NX refit.
As of yesterday.
As of yesterday. So Doug Drexler was hinting a few weeks ago, because he held a picture up of the NX refit, and he kept going shh. And we were like, you're teasing something.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, there it was for all to see yesterday. So this is the NX-01 with a secondary hull on it, which we'll probably show in the video. Yep. So if we go down, there's the shuttle pod there from Enterprise. So this was originally going to be for season 5 of Star Trek Enterprise. So at the end of season 4, it was going to go back, and it was going to be a massive refit, and they were going to have this secondary hull. And then the rest of the show would have this version of the NX-01 in it.
Which is more reminiscent of the original series ship. So it's like a gradual,
again, this was one where it wasn't canon, but Eaglemoss, because they had such a good relationship with Doug Drexler, they made this for Doug, and then they sold like absolute hotcakes.
I'm sure.
The detail is beautiful. I mean, the secondary hull there, you can just about make out where it says SS Enterprise on it in very tiny writing.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, this is a reissue. So if you have a look, if you just pause the video there, this is the Diamond Select took up the Star Trek ship license in 2001, and their very first ship was the NX-01, because Enterprise was all the rage at the time. And they reissued this in 2015 and increased the detail tenfold. So the Aztecing, which is sort of the pattern on the hull, is doubled. So it does have a reflection to it when you shine light on it.
Oh, neat.
The cargo holds have all got little cargo markings and stuff. The cargo hold at the rear, really tiny writing, Enterprise, Cargo, NX-01. This one, though, the deflector dish, the engines, the impulse engines, all light up. Sound effects from Jonathan Archer and the ship itself. Really powerful LEDs. So I think this one's just up there on the camera.
Yeah.
So you probably see the back end of it glowing nice and proudly. It's a beautiful ship in daylight, because it reflects really well.
It's huge too. I love it.
That one's actually only 12 inches.
Oh wow!
It looks big, but for its size, it's really detailed. Now this is from the animated series, the SS Antares.
Oh wow!
Which was then canonized when they remastered the original series for DVD and Blu-ray. That is now, I think it's on network television as a thing. The Horizon, which was only a model in Ben Sisko's office.
Right, because you know the story. I think the Horizon was the ship that was supposed to be a medical ship that the original Doctor on the
Doctor
Cage,
Ubuntu, yeah,
Ubuntu was supposed to be on, and they were going to do a whole series with him being the main protagonist, but they ended up canceling.
It was also Matt Jeffries' original design for the Starship Enterprise for the original series, but never got picked up. Yeah,
yeah, I kind of like what they went with. But that's cool.
Then we've got the Kelvin from Star Trek 09, which, like I said, because it was before the change in the timeline, I'm considering canon.
Okay.
So again, a really nicely detailed ship.
Yeah. Oh, Rick, Thor was the captain of that ship. Chris Helmsworth. That was
fellow Aussie.
Thor. Oh man, I love how like they painted on those little details. It's so prominent. It looks like it's better than the one I saw in the movie. Like it's insane.
It's really lovingly made. Yeah.
And you place it in the right spot because you get that nice reflection from the Enterprise.
Yeah.
So that's clever on your end there.
Chronological order for everything. So the next one going across. Again, you're going to love this. This literally only ever appeared in a calendar from Star Trek Ships of the Line somewhere in like 2013. It was the USS Bonaventure. And it was literally just like Miss March 2013. So it was only made for a calendar, but Eaglemoss, they loved it so much, they made it in a limited run. So everyone was like, I'm having that.
Yeah.
So very lucky to snap that one up.
Yeah.
The next one, now this is going back to Discovery. This is the Taplana Hath from Battle of the Binary Stars.
Wow. There's so many ships that I didn't even know they made. This is like a lesson for me too.
I'm still waiting for ships, like, because Eaglemoss went bust last year, and I am still waiting for ships that I couldn't buy at the time.
Wow.
So there's still loads more to buy. But the next one's a really good one. The Taplana Hath. Very, very flat one, that one. This is the Kobayashi Maru.
Oh, the infamous ship. This is where you make your bones, so to speak, in Star Trek.
So this
go ahead.
Was featured in Star Trek 09, again, right in the background during Kirk's simulation test for about a split second, and Eaglemoss made it. So this is the infamous Kobayashi Maru that you can never, ever save. And the life lesson is you just need to learn to die.
Yeah, or you shoot it, because that was one way to beat it. Somebody said, it was actually a ship full of traitors, so just shoot it.
Oh, wow.
So, it's a little bit of fun track for you.
So going up from there, the ones on the top. So that's the Krella from Discovery. That's the one the Gagarin was refitted on for Star Trek Online and Star Trek Picard. So that's the Krella. We then get the Hiawatha, which was never seen intact on screen, but that's the one Tig Notaro's character from Discovery was a medical officer on.
Yeah.
Because that was a medical ship that was destroyed during the Klingon War. And this is Harry Mudd's ship from the original series. This is Stella.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Your collection is insane.
That is.
But wait, there's more.
No, I'm so sorry for having so much.
No. This is great. This is fantastic. This is what it's all about.
So, the one on the left, again, this is one where when I moved house, I had to hold delicately in my hands because although I have a box for it, I just did not trust it. This is the inspection pod from Star Trek Discovery. I nicknamed it the Sputnik. It is huge. It is easily, I think it's about 12 inches by 7 inches high.
Wow.
The inside is detailed. The cockpit is detailed, but it is highly, highly detailed. And right behind it, you can probably see a tardigrade. It was a special reward. There it is there.
Oh, wow. Neat.
It was a special reward for subscribers. Yeah. You got to have your badge. Have your badge.
I have my badge somewhere.
Yeah. Obviously, no introduction. Discovery.
Yeah.
The original Discovery.
Right before they went to the future and changed the whole thing.
spinny spore drive.
Yeah, which I thought was a neat detail.
Very neat. We've got the festoon, which is the warmonger. What did he call the warmonger ship that Harry Mudd was escaping? It was Harry Mudd's father-in-law. So on the fore of the ship there, you can see the little lion statue that they did for the festoon. Next to that is the Section 31 ship from season 2.
I love. I didn't even know they
really
made that
badass.
either. That's cool.
You'll see a couple more, Discovery shuttle there, which is really detailed, nice and weathered as well, to show that it takes a beating. Again, you can see little no step warnings and stuff. That's the Section 31 drone from the ship just below it as well. So when that ship disassembled, that's one of the drones. That's a worker bee from Discovery.
Yeah, I remember those.
So highly detailed on that one again. And then that is the Nimitz class.
Yes.
Section 31 ship.
Yeah, that was cool.
Which has all the drones. And then this needs no introduction. The K7 from the Troubles with Tribbles episode. Absolutely beautiful, that one.
Now that's a space station.
Yes.
That's Rick. So that's what all the ships can go into, believe it or not.
That is so cool.
Yeah. What a great collection, man. I am just
everything.
Yeah, he literally does
so good.
Yeah. All right. So we'll move on to the next one.
This is the original series movie era. So this is Captain Hikaru Suru's
Excelsior.
Excelsior. This is the NCC version. The Diamond Select did 2 versions. They did the prototype, and then they did this one, which is the NCC version. So this is from the Undiscovered Country. Again, light and sound effects. Really powerful lights on it, as you can see.
Does it say, "Oh my"? Or
I really wish it did. That is a running theme on my show, where if there's any innuendos, it's just "Oh my." Again, this one is not weathered compared to the Enterprise B because they went for a clean look for that, and I think it suits it. Really nice, really powerful lights on it. There's the Reliant from the Wrath of
There
Khan.
it is. I spit my last breath at thee.
It hits safe.
From hell's heart I stab at thee.
So Eaglemoss did 2 versions. They did an XL and they did the regular version. That is a prototype concept Excelsior that was never seen on screen.
Wow.
But it was one of the design models that they built at ILM to find out, how they wanted it to play out. So again, very rare model.
Nice.
The Janolian from TNG, that Scotty.
Yeah, the one that he basically put himself in and let himself get the buffer.
Yeah. Stuck in the pack buffer.
He lived an extra 100 years of all that whiskey and mutton.
He's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
The Executive Shuttle from the Undiscovered Country.
Wow.
We then have Space Stock.
Yeah.
Which is now Starfleet Museum.
Yes, that's right.
I waited so long for that one.
Oh, that's a nice
Enterprise
A.
This is the reissue that Diamond selected. So again, in the early 2000s, Diamond Select were like, "Hey guys, what do you want to build? Like, what do you want us to build?" And everyone, the first thing they said was the Enterprise A, because we never got a big model of the motion picture. So they built it, and it was wonderful, but it had halogen bulbs in it, and the plastic wasn't. Do you remember all plastic where it just went yellow?
Yeah.
So they reissued it about 7 years ago, and that's one of the reissues. That's a work bee from the motion picture onwards.
Yeah.
And then in the background, you got the Grissom from The Search for Spock.
Yeah.
Movie era com badge.
Nice. That's cool.
The Stargazer
from
Picard's
TNG. First
ship. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Marquee Raider in the background, or Federation Freighter.
Yeah.
But this is hands down
that detail.
Wow.
Oh.
This had light and sound effects, yeah.
That's cool.
So that's it with its lights illuminated. Again, really, really powerful. I am a massive Constitution refit fan. I just think it's the perfect shape. As Jack said, retro lines.
Yeah, totally.
Can I just ask, you're talking about the lights, which we see quite a bit on these. Are they all? They're all battery. I don't see any cabling. They're all battery.
Oh god, yes, they are battery. It will cost you a fortune to light them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it might do you leave them on, or because I mean you don't want to keep picking them up, changing the batteries when they go flat, that type of.
I tend to leave them off
Yeah.
unless I'm doing something, like if I'm doing a podcast or anything like that and I need them, I will turn them all on and just add a bit of background. But it is nice, sometimes to have them all on because they do bathe the room in their own bright lights, and it's absolutely stunning. So this is the entire shelf here. So there's the NX01 again, and then we go down. So that's the Discovery fleet that we talked. But then we'll get into the original series ones as well, because I have the original series Enterprise. So I absolutely love that design. I think they really nailed it with the redesign of the original series Enterprise. K7. Gotta love a K7.
Yeah.
Gotta love tribbles. I need tribbles. I need to find who
I hope they do the ones from this last Picard episode.
The attack tribble. Yes.
The attack
absolutely.
The tardigrade back there. You can
really see, So here we go.
Wow.
This is the original series Enterprise, and you probably notice it's not on its original stand, because the original stand fell 6 foot about 10 years ago and hit me on the head. So when I say that the stands for the Art Asylum ships aren't that good, they are not that good. The ball joint came loose and it just fell. But testament to Art Asylum build quality, that ship fell 6 foot from the shelf and it still runs and there's no damage whatsoever on it.
That literally came off the shelf.
Yeah.
And so I got to go into these because they all have different lights and everything.
Oh, so the ones in the background, these are prototype shuttles for the Star Trek Phase 2 proposed series. Yeah. So the one on the left was for Phase 2. The one on the right, really interesting. It was scrapped for the Phase 2, but then went into, I believe, either the animated series or was used in Lost in Space.
Oh, wow.
Original, or no, a Lost in Space reboot. My apologies. The ones at the front. So the one on the left, that's the USS Yorktown. Which was going to be
Constitution class.
This was going to be what the Enterprise was originally going to be called for the original series, because Gene Roddenberry loved the Yorktown in the Navy. So that actually says SS Yorktown, not USS, because that's what Gene Roddenberry originally wanted. The one in the middle is extremely rare because that is a glow-in-the-dark model. It's the USS. It's the USS Defiant, the interphases in the original
the
series.
one from Enterprise.
Yeah. So this one glows in the dark if you shine a UV light on it, and it will glow for hours and hours and hours and hours. When it was in my bedroom, this is all you saw. So that's why it's a different color scheme, because it's got the special coating on it, and very, very rare. Easily about $150. If you find
that little tiny,
that little ship, yep.
I would say about 3.5 inches, 4 inches for that.
Yeah, it's a good size, good to start out with.
the one on the far right, that's the Phase 2 Enterprise, the Phase 2 concept Enterprise for the proposed series before they did the motion picture.
Right.
This large model is the Wrath of Khan 25th anniversary Enterprise.
So
you can see the battle damage.
Yeah, the battle damage is on it.
Yeah, so it has really good sound effects. There's regular Ron from the Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
The little inspection pod from the motion picture in the Wrath of Khan.
Wow.
And then we go here. There's the Enterprise A, and then everything we've just discussed there. But that is the I would say the Enterprise original series shelf.
Here we go. So
this is the next gen shelf. So this is underneath the Enterprise B. This is the largest of the Diamond Select ships that I've got. This is the Enterprise D. Now, as you can see that on the neck of the ship there's no windows, because this is a first series, and again a production error where the factory in China went, there's no windows on this, doesn't matter, ship it. But to the credit, again, Diamond Select were like, hey, we can give you the decals to put it on the neck, but again, I left them off because it gives it a unique tail. Like, it's like, hey, this is a production error run. I like it. Very, very huge. The ship separates like it does in the show.
Oh my God! So the saucer section comes
The
off.
saucer section comes off, and it
no
plays
way.
really good sound effects when it comes off. So it plays the sound effects of the ship detaching and reattaching.
Oh, God.
Light and sound. So you get
Yeah.
Jean-Luc Picard talking.
Engaged.
It is beautiful. Really fragile stand on that. So that's held to the shelf with putty.
Oh,
because
man.
it is very top heavy. Now, this is the Wolf 359 fleet on these
Oh,
ones
the
here.
cannon fodder. Yeah.
Yeah, cannon fodder. So these were what they call kit bash fleets. So you saw the wrecks of them in the Best of Both Worlds Part 2. So Eaglemoss, Ben Robertson at Eaglemoss was committed to bringing the Wolf 359 fleet to life. And they recreated them in CGI and made them so highly detailed as models because he knew that the fans wanted them.
Yeah.
So all of these, this is the Wolf 359 fleet. So you've got like the Princeton there, which has got 3 nacelles, the Freedom class, Challenger class, and then you've got the little shuttles from the Enterprise D as well. So you've got Shuttle 2, 3, and 4. So you've got Hawking, Elbaz, and Goddard, which is what Scotty left.
Right.
We then move on to the Nebula class. So there's my con badge again. You move on to, this was the prototype Nebula class, the USS Melbourne, which was only seen as a model in TNG. Because it was one of the, the other Melbourne was what Riker was going to command. This is a prototype. To the right of it, that is the Voyager concept model, which was only realized in wood for the producers to consider. Right at the back is the USS Phoenix from the TNG episode where Miles O'Brien has to convince the captain to stand down because the captain's going after the Cardies by himself.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
We then have the Prometheus from Star Trek Voyager.
Prometheus. That's a cool ship.
So now we're moving
into like 2 different ships, like the.
Oh, I wish. Can you imagine a tiny little ship doing that and all the tiny little stands? That would be epic.
Yeah, right.
This is the first contact fleet. So the left one is the USS Budapest, which they lost. So really funny story. ILM lost most of the ship files from Insurrection and First Contact. They were corrupted beyond belief. So Eaglemoss single-handedly rebuilt the models in CGI before they realized them as models, physical models. They then donated them back to Paramount to use in Star Trek Picard.
Oh, wow.
So
ILM is Industrial Light and Magic. It's
Industrial Light and Magic, yeah.
George Lucas.
So that's Relay 47 on there. The Federation Fighter, again, the Chekhov from Wolf 359.
Wow.
And then the USS Ioani, a Cheyenne class from 359. And then this, I had to rebuild this before I took this video, the USS Curry. This was from the DS9 fleet. Again, like the old kit bash fleet from the Dominion War. This one came to me. This was one of the few ships that came to me utterly destroyed by Eaglemoss. And they were like, yeah, we'll send you a new one. So that one's downstairs. And I was like, I've got 2 models and I've got super glue. So I rebuilt that one. More Nebula class. So that's the Honshu, the Kyushu from Wolf 359. Beverly's ship, Pegasus from All Good Things.
That's the Pegasus. I love how that's re-imaged because, like, the Pegasus.
No, Pasteur. Sorry, Pasteur, not Pegasus. Good grief.
Oh.
Are they hand painted?
They are hand painted. China, yeah. All of these ships.
Wow.
Look at
every single ship you see is hand painted.
That is just mind blowing. And the small ones to get that much detail on them is just phenomenal.
It's insane.
Yeah,
absolutely insane. Like if you look at the back of the nacelles, like where the engines are there, right at the back of the Diamond Select one, in tiny 1 millimeter long writing, USS Enterprise.
Oh.
They didn't need to put that on, but they did.
Oh,
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, we love Deep
Space Nine. The Rio Grande with the roll bar on it.
That was the original ship for the show. I remember that.
Yeah, it was. We've got the shuttle
back there. Oh,
one of my favorite ships.
Oh.
Yeah, Thunderchild. This is the XL run of the Nebula class, the USS Bonchoon, named after Rob Bonchoon. The Defiant in the background there.
Yeah.
The
Enterprise E.
The Big E. This is the Nemesis variant that they did. So this one
wow.
it's got
This is
slightly
Eaglemoss?
more. No, this is Diamond. The big one's Diamond Select.
Oh, okay.
This is the Nemesis variant where the engines were slightly higher and it had phaser strips. And this has all the sound effects from Nemesis. We've got the shuttles there. So we've got Argo, a com badge. Again, you have to have a com badge.
Yeah.
Argo, the captain's yacht in the background, the Custo.
Oh, yeah.
Argo, really devastated they never did the Argo Dune buggy. I would have loved to have had that.
Oh,
Armored
really?
Voyager from Endgame.
Oh, wow.
And then just poking up is Jupiter Station from Star Trek Voyager. And obviously, probably Picard now.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
Well,
that's
look
the
at
taste.
that.
That's the. It
This
looks like
one.
little Enterprise Ds. They were
Yeah.
just stacked on top of each other.
This one came in a box, right? And they replaced styrofoam with that really thick foam
Yeah.
that you see in like really precious things. And it's literally, it comes with 2 stands, and because it's so fragile, you have to be so delicate with where you put it. But it's a beautifully detailed model.
Wow.
But again, all hand painted and just fantastically detailed.
So how long did it take you to paint all these? No, I'm kidding.
All day. This is the Scout Shuttle from Insurrection and the Hollow Ship from Insurrection. This one here, the third one, that blink and you miss it, that's the tugboat from DS9 towing the battle damaged fleet from Tears of the Prophet. This one here, Joe,
Cerritos.
that's the Cerritos.
Oh my god!
If you go on eBay now,
oh, that's the one that's the worth
$600.
£600
Yeah,
USD.
So what happened was, so the Cerritos was made when Eaglemoss was about to go under. So they made a batch of them, and then all the pre-orders filled up, and then that was it. So it was on. I mean, I'm talking probably less than 1,000. So what happened was these.
Whoa.
So Phil Murphy, who I follow on Twitter, who works on Lower Decks, has been begging people because these sold out immediately. The pre-orders sold out. So when I got the notification that I got this, it was like I won the lottery because this is gold.
Yeah.
This was one of the last ones that I got. This then went up for sale last week on Master Replicas, who have bought all the old inventory from China, from Eaglemoss. This one, and 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And it sold out.
He literally
whatever stock they had.
Go now. And I went in. I woke up super early to go get it, and it was gone.
So that's 600 what US?
Yeah.
Dollars?
600 US. The last time I checked, it was 600 US. Yeah.
So you're looking at probably what, $1,000 Australian.
Wow.
And I picked it up for 50 English pounds. So I won the lottery.
Yeah, that's about $75, $80.
Yeah.
Wow.
Get out.
And the other one
that is gold
was the Titan.
So the one next to it, that is the second to last model I ever received, which was the Titan.
That's also super rare because when the Master replica came out, they had it and then it went out like right away. So
that is just.
And Deep Space Nine also sold out.
There was 2 versions of this, Rick. So there was, what happened was a few years ago, Eaglemoss did a petition and went, hey, because there were the pledge, like I said, they were going to do all the cannon ships. They were like, well, if we made the Titan, which at the time was from the books, would you buy it? So they did a petition, and the petition just exploded. Like, because at the time they needed 5,000 to make a decent run, and 10,000 people signed it.
Oh,
so they were like, hell yeah! So they made a tiny version of the Titan, which is in my living room downstairs. And then when Lower Decks came out, and then everyone saw the Titan for real, Eaglemoss were like, let's make the Lower Decks version. So this one, I know it doesn't pick it up on the camera. It's blue, and it's got hues all over it. So it's like a bluish purple like it is on Lower Decks, but again, hand-painted throughout. So this one here in the center there, that's the Aero Wing again. This was Doug Drexler's concept for the Enterprise J.
Oh, wow.
But then he repurposed it to be an Aero Wing for a Ships of the Line calendar. So again, a calendar ship got an Eaglemoss treatment. One on the right, that's the Federation tug from Picard.
Yeah.
This one here, that's the USS Aventine. That is Esri Dax's ship.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it looks like the Enterprise F, but if it's
similar
Odyssey
design
class or something like that, right?
So this was the other one when they were doing the petition for the Titan. They were like, "Do you want to do the Aventine?" And Trekkies, being Trekkies who have no moral compass when it comes to finances, was like, "Yeah, we'll buy that one." Yeah. Again, they were like, "I don't know if 5,000 people are going to. Oh, 10,000. Oh, okay, right, okay, that's fine."
Guess we'll make it. Yeah.
Last Serena. Need we say no more? The design was modeled after Van Halen's guitar. These two puppies here. So, right. You've got the Zeng here on the right, which was Riker's ship, the Control C and V fleet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Eaglemoss again, they were like, hey, they did a Control C and V fleet, but we know you're going to buy it, so we'll do all 4 variants.
Wow.
So the one on the left is the Tessant, I believe it's called. And it's literally the only difference is the nacelles are bigger. Oh my.
Oh.
But Master Replicas did the Maui last week and again sold out like hotcakes.
Wow.
There's the Enterprise F.
That's what it looks like. Okay. So I see the difference.
Yeah. Star Trek Online USS Andromeda, which is a refit Galaxy class.
Oh.
Which we have seen in Star Trek Picard. Yeah. And then this one, guys, according to Star Trek Picard, will be what the Voyager B looks like.
Oh, wow.
So not even the Voyager A, the Voyager B. So this is from Star Trek Online as well.
Voyager A. That's crazy.
Well, we'll find out in Star Trek Prodigy, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Oh, because Star Trek Prodigy is before Picard, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's 20 years. 20
years before. Yeah. Wow, jeez.
Yeah, so like I said, Scout Shuttle and Hollow Ship from Insurrection, tugboat from DS9. That is the Dauntless from the Voyager episode, where they try and trick him to say it's a slipstream ship, so they can go home. But that's Cerritos. Wow, I mean, I felt like I won the lottery. I really did when I saw that rock up at my doorstep. But that Titan is the Titan's color scheme is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's very cool.
But the Van Halen paint job.
Yeah, I love it.
On the Last Serena, the Van Halen paint job. Come on, what's not to love about that?
That's
that Aventine is so small. So small.
So the Cerritos is your prized possession then?
Nope.
So what is you've got a big collection here, as we can see. Wow. And it is absolutely beautiful and amazing. Clearly, you would have a special one that is close to you. Do you want to show it or tell us about it?
Right here, guys. I built this.
Oh, you built it
19 years ago.
Oh,
when I was at a tender age of 16. I don't. I had spots and long hair, so yeah. This is a Bandai ship that was a limited release. It is now worth about, if you look at it on Amazon, it's about $400 to purchase. Well, £400 for about $500-600.
Yeah, about $600 here. Yeah,
I built this by hand over the case of 4 days, and it is not a Nemesis, but it's an Enterprise E.
First Contact.
This is the First Contact Enterprise E.
Oh wow!
Look at that! No way!
Every single window.
Oh wow!
That is amazing.
This took 4 days to build because although it's all pre-painted and it's exceptionally, I saved up for months for this before it came out. It's exceptionally detailed, and you have to not only build it but wire it. So in here, in this little part here, that is where what would you call it? The gun works. That's where everything is. So that's where all the wiring for every single part of the ship has to meet up. Probably the most I've ever sworn in my life.
Get in there, you son of a bitch! Yeah.
So I to calm myself down, I had to watch Home Improvement as I was building this, because I was like, I need Tim the Toolman to guide me through this disaster that I am building.
Just quickly looking, I think there's a part missing.
Oh man!
No.
That happened the other day.
Did it?
It happened the other day. I was taking a photograph of you guys, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And it took me about half an hour. And I was like, "Don't you dare!" But that I built that with I'm crap at building models, crap. So when I bought this, I was like, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it methodically. I'm going to use tweezers. But with it being a Japanese model, the Japanese are like, you will do this and you will do it to the very strictest tolerance, or we will literally come over to the UK and beat you. So it was, that is my prized possession. Nearly 20 years old. Everything still works in it. All lights up.
Amazing.
Wow.
It uses bulbs, and you can get an upgrade for LEDs, but I literally do not have the time nor the crayons to convert that to
take
LED.
it apart and put it back in.
Never again. Never ever again. But
Wow.
that has been with me, for 19 years.
Yeah. So I guess we got to ask the question, right, Rick?
Yeah. Let's roll it. So I know we've covered a lot here, and we know it's Eaglemoss, which is great. I just find it fascinating because I love anything anyone is collecting and has a passion for, and you can see that you've got a passion for it, Michael. So I guess you were saying that they come from Eaglemoss. Can you just explain the company and why it shut down, or why you got those particular models compared to someone else?
So for Eaglemoss, Eaglemoss were known in the UK as like those part model magazines where it's like, hey, build Knight Rider, build Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds. They were every week you get a headlight and a bumper for 300 issues. They did some testing in 2012, and they were like, what happens if we started making little Star Trek starships? And they tested really well. So originally they came out in newsagents in the UK. So they were really popular in a newsagent called W.H. Smith's. So I was like a kid. So every time I'd on my lunch break at work, I'd be like, it's Thursday. And I'd skip on down to the newsagents. And we're like, hey, is it in yet? Yes. And you just pick it up and buy it. And then later on, as the collection went from, because it was planned to do 50 ships and then 70 and then 80 and then 200 plus ships later, they started just being sold online. So most people bought them from the Eaglemoss website, which always had great discount codes. They were really loyal to the customers as well. So they were like, hey, we know you've bought loads. Have a 3 for 2, have 20% off. And the customer service was out of this world, which was like, I got this one here, which is Starbase 1 from Star Trek Discovery. Yeah. This came without this part of the stand, and I messaged them, and literally 12 hours later, a new complete model was at my door.
Wow. So that's why they went bankrupt.
That's why they went bankrupt. The customer service was by none the best, because they were like, don't worry about it. We'll do it. Don't bother about sending it back. Just keep it, sell it, do what you want. So for them, it was online. The larger ships, we have a store over here, and I think there's one in New York, Joe, called Forbidden Planet.
Oh, yeah, I know Forbidden Planet. You know who hangs out in Forbidden Planet?
Who?
Henry Cavill.
No way.
Yeah, I've seen him there like 3 times when I went. I was like, oh, shit, that's Henry Cavill, you know.
I'm
one of those people that just like, hey, what's up? You know, I don't really go like, oh, Henry Cavill, he's Superman. You know, I just...
So yeah, Forbidden Planet were really good. So they used to sell, because these models now, if you bought the bigger ones, you're looking at $100, $200, $300. When I bought them, 30 English pounds to 50 English pounds.
Wow.
Because that's how prices were back then. And then again, as time went on, it was moving them online. So it's Forbidden Planet's website that I would normally get them from. And again, Forbidden Planet, like the one in New York, brilliant service. They just stock everything nerdy. They are the English version of Entertainment Earth, I think I can compare it to, which is an American store. But that's where I primarily bought them from. It would be very rare that I would see one out in the wild and I'd be like, I've got to have it. I've got to have it. Yeah. I mean, I think I've seen one Eaglemoss ship when I was in Newcastle upon Tyne, which is just up the road from where I live. And it was, of all places, just on outlet. And it was just like, hi, this ship. And it was like, oh, wow, that's actually really cheap. Do I tell him it's cheap? No, don't tell him it's cheap. Just buy it. Hi, I want to buy this, please. Yes, very expensive. Run hard, run fast. So, yeah, very, very hard to find in the wild, in the UK especially.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, go, Joe. Go.
No, is any of the ships that you had to like go leagues and bounds for? Because I know behind me I have the dog. That's what I have behind me right now. But I have an Enterprise D from. It was actually a very rare. It's a Bluetooth speaker. It's the Freaks and something collection, and now they're doing the Borg Cube, which is on my radar. I'm going to be getting that.
Oh my god, yeah.
But I had to go through hell and high water to get that because the person that sold it to me was from eBay, but decided, oh, do you want this? Come get it. And I'm like, what? And I had to drive quite a bit to get it. And I was like, please, God, don't let him have a gun and then try to keep it because this is America. And you know how we are with our guns in America, you know? So, I mean, luckily he was a cool dude. And it turned out he had a comic book store. And I didn't know that he has this huge comic book store. I was like, oh, cool. You got a comic book store. This is great. So I was chatting with him. So, do you have any experience like that, getting anything?
Ooh, luckily, no. Eaglemoss. I would say the Titan, the last Titan that I bought, because I pre-ordered it on Eaglemoss's website and then they went bust. So I found that by luck on Amazon, and they were selling it dirt cheap.
Oh,
like
wow.
they were like, hi, buy this Star Wars Trek ship. It's from whatever show. £17.
Fucking all about it.
Yeah. And they were like, £17, please. And I was like, £17? Buy now. Because that was £59 retail from Eaglemoss. So to find it for £17, it was incredibly lucky. And after the company went bust as well.
Yeah.
So I really looked out for that. But no, I'm normally really quick when I see something and I'm like, no, pre-order. I don't care if I'm going to go bust. Pre-order.
Wow.
Do we know why it went bust? Eaglemoss went bust?
Because they kept giving shit out.
yeah. They extended too fast. So in the in 2022, they did deals with a load of licenses. So they were going to do the Jerry Anderson collection. So they were going to do Thunderbirds. They already started doing Space 1999. They were going to do Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet, Stingray. They had a license for Stargate. So they were going to do all the Stargate ships. They were going to do Babylon 5.
Wow.
They were going to do the Expanse. They already were doing the Expanse, but they were going to expand on the Expanse. And they also were doing the Orville as well. But obviously, the cost of these licenses, if these ships don't sell, the more obscure the ship, the less people will want it. And I think for some of the licenses, they're like, oh, you like Star Trek? How about Babylon 5? And people were like, not really. Maybe the station, but that's about it.
Babylon 5 is kind of like, well, we have Star Trek at home, you know.
Yeah. The effects aren't that good. Shall I have the station? Yeah, I love the station. So it was sort of that they reached too far too fast, and then they went bankrupt. So at the moment, Master Replicas is selling off the stock, and someone is willing to pick up the license because Star Trek is still being made. New ships are still appearing. So people would be silly not to. But with Art Asylum, who did the big ships, just went silent. And they just like, oh yeah, we've got to build a big Reliant. We're going to build the Enterprise C. This was 10 years ago, and that's it. But they've not said if they've lost the license or anything, which is weird. But Playmates is now coming back onto the scene with their figure range for Discovery and Prodigy. And they have made an original series Enterprise, which I think Jace has in at home.
Yeah, he has it behind him, yeah.
Yeah, and then they are building the Prodigy from Star Trek Prodigy. So, yeah, it's really weird that Art Asylum just sort of went really quiet when it was like their ship sold really well. So no one knows. No one knows.
Well, there you go. As a collector, and I ask this to a lot of collectors, and you've got a lot there, do you keep the boxes?
Purely for moving.
Yep.
Purely for moving. So my loft, half of my loft now is shit boxes. When I moved to this house, it took about 3 or 4 trips to bring them all in the boxes. Just the ships in the boxes.
What about my clothes in my bed? No, that's
they can wait. No, they could.
Know about that.
The ships first.
I'm
The ships first.
I'm a big believer of I buy them for myself. I will never sell them, and I want to display them proudly. Why would I keep them in the box?
Yeah. Nice. And one other question: how long have you been collecting this beautiful collection?
Too long. So I had my parents got me the Playmates starships in the 90s. So the next generation starships and stuff like that. I've still got them in the Forbidden Cave upstairs. But this lot is 22 years. This is took to build, and it's still growing. If they keep making ships, I will keep buying them because it's a passion. Why I think ships are a piece of art.
Yep. I guess that leads into the next.
That's right.
The next one, Joe.
This was perfect setup, man.
Why ships? Why?
Star Trek.
Yeah.
I primarily Star Trek because I'm not a lot of people know this. I am a huge Star Trek fan.
No way.
No, I know.
What gave it away?
What gave it away? Niners.
Sure. Yeah.
For me, Star Trek growing up was like a second family. So to be part of that family was something wonderful. It was an escapism from my own life. The starships, I just fell in love with. I'm a big fan of ships and starships, and I see them as not only functional and aesthetically pleasing, but they are pieces of art in their own right. And the dedication, the passion, and the amount of time that goes into designing them needs to be recognized and appreciated. And for me, I absolutely, people collect ornaments, they collect figures. For me, it's ships because they are beautiful. They need to be shown to the world. And I just love being surrounded by them because it reminds me of my youth, and it reminds me of escapism into better worlds than what we are living in. And just general, these are just beautiful, beautiful pieces of art.
That's awesome.
I mean, that was, and you know what? I love it. I absolutely love it. You know what? This is what we're talking about. This is what this show is all about. It's about people who have that passion about collecting and having those stories. It's not just about, this is what they are. It brings those memories for you, good memories, and about your childhood and whatever. I just thank you so much, Michael, because that was just an absolute pleasure of displaying what you've got and showing us and telling us your story, man. No, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I just loved it. I absolutely, and I learned some stuff. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not a Star Trek fan, but I appreciate and respect the fact that you are a collector and how you collect it and the story behind it. So just, thank you.
It's my pleasure, guys.
Joe, is there anything you want to discuss before we wrap this up, mate?
Have you heard of the Polar Lights series?
Yes. Like I said, I am crap at building, so I don't even want to go near that. Yeah. Can you imagine this hand is just like, yes, I will do that tiny window. I will do
coffee you drink.
If I sneeze, this model is ruined. I tend to just I really appreciate some of the people that build that, and they build wonderful things from just these shells of models, and what they create is just astounding. But I have no talent at all when it comes to that.
All right. Well, thank you so much. This was awesome. I was so dying because you glimpsed at it when I was a guest on your show, and I was like, oh, I gotta tell Rick, we gotta get him on the show. I want to see all of them. I want to get into detail, and we did that, and I am super happy and so stoked because I really wanted to see what came off your shelf because you had everything that I've ever wanted. And then some, because I only have one light up and it's like a speaker. So you've gone above and beyond what my dreams were. So I lived vicariously through you. And it's like, yeah, I own all of these. Just see, you watch my show. Yeah, I own them in my heart. So, my friend, thank you so much. Let people know where they can find you and when they will be hanging out with you. And I'll pop back in there at some point for sure. So,
definitely.
Oh, well, if you look at the name on there, I am on Twitter at Goodwill None. You will find me annoying every single person who has ever even been associated with Star Trek in their entire lives because I'm like, I want to be part of you. So I am at Twitter at Goodwill None. I am also part of a lovely little cult, as we call it, called Nerdy Up North, which is a fantastic community in the northeast of England that celebrates everything nerdy. If you think it's not nerdy, but you are nerding out about it, it's nerdy, guys. Could be anything, could be cars, could be anything. You are a nerd. We want to celebrate it, and we've got a wonderful community where people can join. It's a lovely safe space to talk and discuss about all your passions. We have a weekly podcast every Sunday, and I have my own show now called Star Trekking with Nerdy Up North, where at the moment I'm reviewing season 3 of Picard.
Nice. You got a lot.
So we've been watching each other's show. So ours comes out on Thursday. So make sure you join us again Thursday and then check him out on Friday. Get your double dose of Star Trek with the two of us. Mike, thanks so much. I'm going to let Rick handle the rest
Guys,
of his duties.
Thank you again. Thank you so much, Michael. It's been an absolute pleasure. We really, really appreciate it. And we would love to have you back on the show. If you ever get any more pieces, I'm sure you will. You're more than welcome to pop in. Guys, follow Michael with all that he had said. Everything that we've discussed, all our links are obviously all down below, guys. So go check them out. And also, Joe, if you want to pop up your little shirt.
Oh,
there,
yeah.
mate,
We have a merch store, guys. We got merch.
So we have merch on
Look at that. Boop,
all our shows. So go check them out, guys. So we really, really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we'll see you all on the next episode of Off the Shelf. Bye.